I like it. And it really looks good. They've done a great job of the finish. I mean, really, really good.
We're going to see how they do it here in a second. Hey, we are on location in Sweden. Flew across the pond to go see our friends at Hardcore Lures, the makers of the Pike Strike. They're also a distributor of all of the make lure products here in Sweden and the Norwegian countries. We're doing a bunch of seminars on lure making here in Sweden. It's been a lot of fun so far, but we decided to make a couple lures for our trip. So Henrik, show us about the newer lure that's coming out of Hardcore.
Yeah, this is a new model coming up. It's looks like a smelt. Just test fishing it.
A little bit different than the bigger profile. This one rolls a little bit more. That one, what was the intention for that other than the different profile?
We want to have a complement to that with a slow motion instead of the Pike Strike.
And the other one that you told me about was a big predatory fish, the prey fish, is the roach.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what a roach was. I had to ask Larry and actually Henrik, and it was, so what we did, we actually designed a minnow style bait that kind of mimicked what the roach looks like, and that was the lure that we did. First time on location for a lure or a set of conditions, you really don't know how you want to fish it or how you're going to need to fish it. So I wanted to make something that was really, really versatile, something that we could actually make into also a paddle tail, you know, so we could actually just have a straight paddle tail version of this bait. We could put it behind a big shaker head if we were fishing like muddy or grass. So we wanted a bait that we made that was a little bit more versatile, that we could fish in a lot of different capacities. So we're gonna go out and fish them and give you the highlights of our trip. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
To the casual observer, these two lures look an awful lot alike, but they are subtly different, and subtle differences sometimes can make the difference between success and failure. Now look at the two tails of these lures. They look similar, don't they? This one, because of its design, is going to paddle. This one you'd think would paddle, but no. Because of its design, this tail actually sort of rotates. A little different sound, a little different look, and sometimes a subtle difference can make a huge difference in your success. You know, all commercial lures, if you expect to achieve wide-range commercial success, have to be kind of a compromise between what works here or here or here or here or here. One of the reasons, and maybe the most important one of all, that lure makers that are really into this make their own lures, is that they can fine-tune to their specific locale. And sometimes the little fine-tuning turns a good lure into a magic one.
Jag fiskar Pike Strike nästan som ett jerkbait. Kör små twister, pausar och så twistar igen. Framförallt på Pike Strike ska man inte vara orolig att den ska inte simma rakt. Den ska simma så oregelbundet som möjligt. Det är det absolut bästa. Så dra till sig stora fiskar. Det är så vi fått bäst på den.
There are several things to consider that you may not think of other than just the way a lure looks. More important often is what it does. What a lure does depends on a number of different things. One is buoyancy or specific gravity. Another is the center of gravity. A third is the shape, and that all comes down to where are the control surfaces on the lure. What a lure does in the water is going to be dependent upon all of those things. Think of it as a lure is like a kite, and any control surface on that lure is like the surface of a kite. But a kite's in the air, a lure is in the water. Water's a lot thicker than air. So the tiniest change in a control surface makes a monstrous change in a lure. And the trick is training that control surface to do what you want it to do, and the lure behind it to do what you want it to do as well. The lure itself can be the tail of the kite, or the top of the lure can be fashioned so it becomes the control surface, or you can put a lip on it, it becomes the control surface. The angles and the relationship of that control surface in relation to the body shape of the bait is really where you have to begin. No matter what lure you're using, two things. We have to attract and we have to trigger. Some of the qualities we build into the lure are designed to attract, others designed to trigger. The best ones, of course, do both. So all of these various options that you have in terms of making your lure wiggle wide, wiggle shallow, sink fast, float, or suspend are the things that add up to what it makes to inspire the fish to open his mouth and eat it.
Hej och god morgon på er allihopa. Hälsar er välkomna till den här lilla spontana branschdagen. Vi har ju celebert besök idag som sagt. Så att, jag låter grabbarna här presentera sig själva. Själv heter jag och min kollega Henrik med mig. Vi kommer från Hardcore Lures. Och vi har ju länge hållit på, 3 år nu, hållit på med det här med lure making. Mycket mjukbetesjiggar och grejer.
So, today's lure making challenge, all right? Turn it over to you. The challenge is defined as
3 areas being judged. 1, did it turn out, what was my purpose, and did it end up doing what I wanted it to do? 2, originality. And the 3rd, cosmetics.
all right, everybody's under the same parameters. What you're gonna do is get with your team. I want you to try to figure out a lure, a unique lure, all right, original lure, based upon a performance that you want, you create. We're gonna start with a sketch, then we're gonna go to making an actual master, making a mold box. We will mold that lure, then you will be able to cast that lure. All right, you're gonna cast it. We're actually gonna take it down to the water. That's where they will be tested. You can come back, modify, you can tweak, then you can go back out and retest, and that's what your grade will be judged upon by this team of judges right here. All right, so you got about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Let's get a sketch going per team, come up with your lure design, decide what it's gonna be. We'll go from there. There's 4 workstations in there. Let's go.
This is really going to be fun. It's sort of like the show on TV in America called Chopped. So they have 3 chefs that get together, and then the judges bring them a basket of who knows what it's going to be, and they have to figure out how to make a meal out of it. Things have really quieted down in here. And each of the teams is brainstorming right now in terms of conceiving. So they're ideating before they put it into reality. And they're coming up with some really interesting things.
Och sen försöker den jobba på team. Om vi fiskar med den så jättebra också.
Just nu håller han på att tillverka en master i sitt bete. Så det är full rulle med både lera och lådan för mastern då.
Vad ska du? De gör så fina grejer. Riktigt innovativt och nytt. Bra. Och så får de lära sig använda lera också.
All right, so now we're into phase 3. So everybody's got their master, they have their mold boxes ready. Now we're mixing up the silicone rubber. Here we're using high strength 2. And we're actually over catalyzing it just a little bit so it'll cure faster. We're gonna pour the molds.
Om man inte mixar den tillräckligt bra så blir inte härdningsprocessen dit man vill ha den då. Så det är väldigt noga att man skrapar sidorna ordentligt. Gärna skrapar av stickan också.
Go ahead and pour. All right, when we pour, we want to pour from the corner. We don't want to pour over the lure, pour from the corner and let it just flow around and then come up and over. Okay?
Och silen sakta igen, inte på betet än. Kan de hälla på den? Fortsätt. 1 second.
All right, so we're flying today. This is really cool. We got all of our masters made, mold boxes, and we poured the silicone. We've juiced the catalyst of this thing, so it's basically the silicone is going to take maybe about an hour and a half to cure. So we're going to clean shop. We're going to set up. We're going to show the kids how to, all the students, how to basically pour Alumisol. We're going to pour some resin. So then, when their molds are ready, they'll know what to do next. So we're setting that up now. Larry's going to start demoing that. So let's go check that out.
We're getting ready to pour a little soft plastic. Mike has super activated the silicone so that it will cure more quickly. It's a little cool here in Finland. If we were somewhere where people have a sauna, we could get these babies set probably in an hour. It's a little cool here. So we're waiting for those to set. We're going to pour a little soft plastic. Eventually, as I'm sitting this in, had our dipping, we put it over black.
Sån här är faktiskt hål.
All right, here we are. We're melting some soft plastic. We're pouring it in our molds. When we demold it, then we'll get ready to put our hook harnesses, wire harnesses, get ready to throw them.
Det färdiga resultatet av the
Badass diving whip finish lap.
yes. Vi ska bara slippa till den här nu så är han klar.
Ja, det är inte min grupp.
Mycket proffsiga jävla
All right, so right now we're finishing up our first prototypes. They're demolding them, they're finishing them up, they're trimming them, they're putting weights on them, they're getting ready to go throw them in the river, see how they run, and then they'll come back and make their modifications. We're close to throwing them, seeing how they work. So this is the exciting part. We have all these groups. We have 3 different groups down here testing their lures in the water for the first time. They're trying to make adjustments, figuring out what's working, what's not, and what adjustments they need to go make when they go back to the shop. This is sweet.
All right, we've had a conference, and this wasn't easy. Sitting here all day long with these teenagers. All of these lures were good ideas. The ones that didn't work were only this far from working. The lure that comes closest in all the categories to making it is Team Chubby Butt, or Fat Ass. Yay! So you guys are the first winners of the traveling trophy of Forshaga. And looking on that trophy, Team Fat Ass, you may have set a very bad precedent. That's all I'm saying.
Very nice.
Very good work. I was impressed coming into this. It's like we said, this is the first time we've ever done this. The way you guys took hold of this, put your heart into it, put it on paper, put the masters in, made the work, made the adjustments. I hope you learned something. It was fun for us to come and do this. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk, and it's awesome. So, good work.
You know the other thing, Mike?
What's that?
When I was a kid, I got to fish every single day, and that didn't seem like enough. As a little kid, if he's lucky today, he gets to fish every Saturday. That's 4 or 5 days a month. That's nothing.
Well, and here in Sweden, what's the season? I mean, it's a lot shorter even than in the States.
So what do on those 6 days that you don't get to fish? You can sit at home in your workshop and think about it and be involved with it and get ready for a connection and build yourself a lure, and it creates not just a better way to spend your time, but it creates a sense of potency. That I did this, and I threw it out, and I caught something on it.
On my idea, on my work, on my lure.
Yeah, it's about potency and that I can do it. And who knows, maybe the skills that they've learned pouring molds and things, they'll actually, designing lures, they'll actually use for a great purpose, and they'll go to work for a medical company and design a new heart valve that'll allow you and I to fish another 20 years.
I'm all for it.